it's great to see that. I want to see India thrive. I think if you can combine the world's largest and oldest democracies, overall, we've been very dedicated to that process to make sure that regional stability exists. When you talk about 70% of the world's population, 70% of the world's trade going through that corridor in that area with Taiwan, 14%, one of the highest in all of America, and probably is one of the reasons that we have the highest median income in any Republican district in all of America, because we have such a high demographic, not only just of Indian, but also Korean and Jewish.
Chair of the India caucus with strong ties to India's leadership and the people of India, your reaction on the announcement yesterday?
Oh, first of all, I'm very excited. I know that Prime Minister Modi and President Trump have spent time together in the past. I know he's come to America several times. I know President Trump is very fond of him and understands what an important influence he is on the world's largest population, on one of the fastest growing economy, on what's soon to be the third largest GDP in the world, probably within the next few years. It's great to see that. I want to see India thrive. I think if you can combine the world's largest and oldest democracies, I think we could usher in an era of peace for this next generation that I think would be incredibly stabilizing for the entire world. We see the world very similarly. I think there's been some unfortunate understandings recently on everything from where we purchase energy to immigration to just misunderstandings in the general public. That's what I'm here for, so make sure we massage that, smooth it out, make sure we have great relationships rolling forward. I think as India transitions from buying Russian oil to the United States, it will once again stabilize the world. These kind of relationships are imperative to the future of peace and prosperity for the entire world, not to mention the Ukrainian region.
Right. Now, the deal is done and should be announced anytime soon. The papering, the officials are on the papering of it right now. Who do you think really pushed this across the finish line?
I think it's deciding the details. Obviously, I'm not behind the scenes on this one, but I think they're going to be very cautious, make sure that there's a little bit of latitude, a little bit of wiggle room and flexibility, but that it makes very clear the things that matter most, that the major purchasing goes through America or Venezuela, basically countries that we can not fund that are not used for nefarious ways. So I think that's the important stuff. And I think the rest, once again, I love collaborating with India. I think we have a strong future, even when it comes to the defense industry. I know that there's some holdups on percentages of ownership and production, but I know India is already producing parts of the C-130J, which is also produced in my home state of Georgia at Lockheed. But there's other collaborations. I think the incredible initiative and ingenuity in India right now to be able to put a spaceship on the dark side of the moon successfully for under $100 million, actually for under $80 million. Phenomenal. That's the way of the future. And I think the more efficient we get, the more collaboration we do, the better off we'll all be.
Now, in your opening remarks, you did mention about India's oil purchases from Russia. India has definitely reduced or geared down the Russian oil purchases. Is there an ask as of now from the U.S. side to seize this completely? And could Venezuela be the next option for India?
I think that's exactly what's happened. Is basically we want to cut Russia off entirely, make it hard for them to continue to prosecute this war, to get rid of their bullying in Europe. Realize that Ukraine is a top 5 country in resources when it comes to titanium, steel, cobalt, lithium, uranium. 70% of Europe's wheat is produced in Ukraine. I think it's incredibly important to the stability of that region. We certainly don't want Russia any closer to other NATO allies. I think the faster they come to bear, and using especially financial terms, the quicker. Quite frankly, between India and China, we've basically been funding this war. But actually, the United States and Europe is also culpable for what we've proceeded to purchase from that country as well. But Russia only has a $2.1 trillion economy. That's smaller than Texas's economy. And Texas doesn't have the biggest economy in all of the United States. Europe has a $20 trillion economy. So Europe alone outpaces Russia by 10-1. Germany has 2.5 times the economy of Russia. So in short order, we could bring them to heel. I'm a big proponent of supplying Ukraine with all the weapons they can handle, because I want to make this as painful as possible against what I think is an expansionist autocratic regime.
Now, this deal between India and the United States took time. It was a complex deal, but it didn't take as long as 18 years that India-EU deal really went through. Who do you think was the tougher negotiator here? Was it President Trump or Prime Minister Modi? And who do you think has come out as the real deal maker here?
I think the real beneficial with the entire world. When two leaders of two great nations get together and actually decide what to do collectively, it doesn't really matter who's responsible. It's a matter of what the result is. When you look at the benefits that it's going to have on the Indian economy long term, because Russia is not the answer. Let's face it. Once again, a $2 trillion economy. India has a bigger economy than that. Matter of fact, India is about the same size as Germany now, 2.5 times the size of Russia. But the United States has a $30 trillion economy. Who do you want to do business with? It makes sense. It's going to benefit India dramatically into the future. We have a much more similar worldview, too. Russia's a bad guy. They're bad actors. Putin's not behaving well. He doesn't care if tens of thousands of people die. Much better to be associated with us. I think we have similar worldviews. We have similar ideas on what we see government's role is in people's lives. When you look at the Constitution of India, it's modeled to be similar to the United States. And I think that will benefit them greatly. So two great leaders that we're going to do something that's going to, once again, potentially benefit both countries and the rest of the world into the next century. Because I think when we combine our forces, everybody benefits.
Right. You did mention about, the misunderstandings among people when it comes to this relationship and how you've been vocal about it. Quad, my question is on Quad now. There has been momentum in the past 1 year, but then do you think this would probably revive or probably reset the Quad partnership?
I think the Quad was always strong. I think people get distracted by maybe small bickering, small differences. But overall, we've been very dedicated to that process to make sure that regional stability exists. When you talk about 70% of the world's population, 70% of the world's trade going through that corridor in that area with Taiwan, when you talk about the Arunachal region and what's been at stake there for a while, when you talk about an expansionist tyrannical government like China as they've postured and tried to become more powerful, it's very important that the Quad is shored up, that we all see the world very similarly, and that we want to make sure that together we stand mightily against a foe that's rising up. Once again, we're not the invaders here. We're not the ones trying to take land. We're trying to defend a way of life, to defend trade and stability in that region. And I think India is a huge part of that, and I'm glad to see that really continue strong.
And finally, Congressman, as the chair of the India caucus, despite some relationship hiccups between the two countries, what does the India-US relationship mean for both the countries and the people of both these countries?
Well, first of all, the reason I became chair is so I could be outspoken on these issues, because I believe that whenever you see racism, you got to point it out. And we have racism here in America. It's not political racism. It's based on people who fear immigration, that want to be isolationists. And they exist in both parties, by the way. I'm here to say that we've benefited greatly from our Indian immigrants. We've benefited greatly and will continue to benefit from our relationship with India as a nation, from Prime Minister Modi as a leader. It's really important to me, both collectively as nations and also as a demographic that extends into my district at 14%, one of the highest in all of America, and probably is one of the reasons that we have the highest median income in any Republican district in all of America, because we have such a high demographic, not only just of Indian, but also Korean and Jewish. I mean, the minority district of mine makes up about 40% of my district, and we benefit greatly from it. Why wouldn't we want to have that into the future? Why wouldn't we have immigration that's right sized, whether it be in the hotel industry, healthcare, IT, agriculture, construction? We have benefited tremendously by legal immigration to the United States, and we're blessed for it. I want to continue that trend, make sure that people have a pathway to citizenship that make great Americans into the future, that we get rid of the demonization of people, the fear of somebody who doesn't look just like me. That's really important that we're outspoken about that, because that is the future of America. India and Africa are two of the only countries in the world right now, or countries in a continent, that are expanding in population. Everybody else is declining. We need to adjust as we go forward, as AI starts to replace jobs. And some of it will be good because we don't have enough people to supply all the workmanship we're going to have into the future. But we still need a robust immigration system, right sized to America, makes sense for India. I'm glad that we have about 250,000 Indian students here per year in advanced education. That's going to benefit India and America also.
On that note, thank you so much for your time, Congressman. Really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. God bless all of you, and let's have a great day.
Thank you, Congressman. Really appreciate your time again.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.